is how you distribute your talent. Now, I've enjoyed seeing Summer Rae in her various roles in the WWE, and she's a diva that would fit perfectly with Total Divas, which is why I'm hoping to see more than one documentation of Summer Rae's involvement in the WWE. We've seen her go from a ring announcer to a wrestler for a short period of time in NXT, dominating there, winning several matches before ever losing her first one. She's been in series with Paige and, of course, Sasha Banks. Those matches are all over YouTube, either in full match videos or still shot videos that wrestling fans have put together. They've even uploaded a couple of tribute videos for Summer Rae's success. She's definitely one of the top 5 most talked about divas in the same kind of light as Kelly and Eve were prior to their releases. Remember when Eve was talked about so much because of her heel turn, turning on Zack Ryder, and we're seeing the same kind of thing for Summer Rae. So there's no reason why Summer Rae can't go further with her WWE career, and I will never deny the fact that I am a Summer Rae fan. I will put that out over this microphone by saying that Summer Rae still has the best years of her career yet to be witnessed by both wrestling fans and herself. And I want to pose the question to our listening audience listening to us today in the new Facebook audio player on our newly redesigned Facebook page at facebook.com/HW Entertainment. Brand new cover, brand new audio player, the whole deal. Do you believe that Summer Rae will be a future WWE Divas Champion, and if not that, a future #1 contender for the Divas Championship? You throw yourself back to when AJ surprisingly became the #1 contender for the Divas Championship and went on to win it at WWE Payback after months of promoting a match with Caitlyn. We finally see it at WWE Payback after becoming frustrated because WWE didn't almost immediately offer us this match between AJ and Caitlyn based off of their history from NXT Season 3. Do you believe that we will see Summer Rae probably become the champion quicker than someone like AJ or Caitlyn ever did? You can let me know on Facebook at facebook.com/HW Entertainment, on Twitter at Jonathan Clarke1, and on YouTube at youtube.com/Jonathan Clarke22, the newly redesigned YouTube channel, one where you'll find a lot of previous video commentaries on the status of Caitlyn and AJ's careers. Very impressive careers for both AJ and Caitlyn, and it's going to be a very impressive career for Summer Rae, who I have talked about previously also, along with all the other divas on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Jonathan Clarke22. My initial video release of Summer Rae's success in the WWE did fairly well, so I thought I would offer up a follow-up to my previous video blog I had released on the success of Summer Rae's career, because there is no denial in the fact that she has rapidly ascended to the top of the WWE in so many different roles within a few months of her arrival, and the best years of her career still has yet to be witnessed by both herself and her fan base, which is seeming to be pretty consistent. Summer Rae does have a little bit of a fan club out there, and of course I am on the fan wagon of Summer Rae's success. I think that the best years of her career are still ahead for her. I mean, you take a look at the match that she had with Paige a few months back on NXT. There was so much anticipation for the in-ring debut of Summer Rae, and in my opinion, the in-ring debut of Summer Rae lived up to the expectations of wrestling fans and improved wrestling critics, radio shows, and columnists wrong, because a lot of people were criticizing Summer Rae. They were describing her as the replacement for Kelly or Eve, and then she comes in, she starts winning matches almost immediately after being a ring announcer for months, having a far more impressive debut for herself than Lillian Garcia ever did, because Lillian Garcia, yes, is a singer and very successful at that, but pretty much Lillian Garcia was signed with the purpose of being a ring announcer. She goes from being a ring announcer to a wrestler. She's kind of the female version of Ricardo Rodriguez, who started wrestling shortly after his arrival in the WWE. Maybe not as much as some people who have gone through transitional periods over the years, but at least he did it. And Summer Rae is kind of doing the same kind of thing. At least she's trying to write different chapters in her career novel, and she's doing it very successfully. She's one of the most successful divas when it comes to a transitional period that we have seen in years. She's made a total of up to 3 transitions. She made a transition from being a developmental superstar into a ring announcer, from a ring announcer to a wrestler actually winning matches, and then going from a wrestler who was winning matches to being a valet, to be a valet for Fandango, who was one of the top new talented superstars. He might put you in mind of a superstar like Disco Inferno from WCW, but his gimmick is getting somewhere in the WWE, and this is a superstar who you can easily get 5 to 6 years out of, and probably even give the Intercontinental Championship to. If he was not substituted for Curtis Axel because of an injury which was unfortunate for him to suffer just weeks before challenging for the Intercontinental Championship, he probably would have been the one to win the 3-way match with The Miz and Wade Barrett when Wade Barrett went into the match as the defending Intercontinental Champion, and it wouldn't have surprised me at all if WWE would have given him the Intercontinental title. I mean, look, imagine what that would have done for the egos of Summer Rae and Fandango. Imagine what that would have done for the ego of Summer Rae and the portrayal of her character carrying around the Intercontinental Championship. At least that would give her something more productive to do. But I enjoy Summer Rae the most on the all-new NXT because she's kind of separated from Fandango. She's wrestling with entrance music, ring attire that looks very impressive. There you see her right there as the graphic we are using for this week's video distribution on the new YouTube One channel of HEW Entertainment. And I want to let you guys know that Summer Rae is going to be something big in years to come. She's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. There is a reason behind me releasing all these video distributions on the success of Summer Rae, because I have high hopes and high expectations as a radio host and columnist, and speaking from that point of view when it comes to the best years of Summer Rae's career, which have yet to be witnessed by both wrestling fans and of course herself. And she's going to even impress herself in months to come if she hasn't already done it. I mean, ring announcer to wrestler, from wrestler to valet. I mean, so many divas have done different things and desperately failed at it, but seemingly Summer Rae has done very well. And no matter what role WWE Creative have given her. To me, they've kind of reached a point of confusion, a little bit of a barrier with what to do with Summer Rae's character, but they're slowly but surely getting over that barrier and coming up with a definite thing for Summer Rae to do. I just hope she gets out of the valet role in the months to come and starts wrestling on Raw and SmackDown, because she's one of the top 5 divas who are in line for a call-up to the WWE and begin wrestling on a full-time basis for Raw and SmackDown. She could be a potential threat to AJ's reign as Divas Champion, especially if she uses some of those moves in matches with people like AJ and Caitlyn that she's been using on NXT to pick up wins over Sasha Banks and Paige. She's also got a couple of tag team matches in there with the likes of Aja Marie. As I mentioned, she's all over YouTube, and I have tweeted consistent videos on our Twitter and our tweet archives at Jonathan Clarke 1 for you to check out, especially the series of matches with Sasha Banks and Paige, which have been very impressive. You couldn't have had a diva debut more impressively than what you did, Summer Rae, and I am very impressed. And I've been impressed by a lot of things, and it's very hard to impress me in professional wrestling because I've been a fan for 15, 16 years of this thing. And you really don't ever see all that much of impressive things, especially in the early thousands. Ever since then, you really haven't seen very impressive things. One of the most impressive things I've seen in years is the rant dropped by CM Punk in 2011, which I referenced in a recent video blog I dropped from my YouTube channel at youtube.com/JonathanClarke22 when I talked about Punk versus Lesnar at the 2013 SummerSlam. And if things keep going the same way they're going for Summer Rae in a year or so, Summer Rae is going to be talked about more positively by wrestling fans, radio shows, and columnists. And that's one of the things that I'm going to be looking for in the years to come for Summer Rae's career, a more positive review than what she's currently receiving. You can't count Summer Rae out because I think she's really one of the most unpredictable divas when it comes to a new talent initiative diva. If there ever was a Money in the Bank contract for divas, Summer Rae would definitely be the one to have it and cash it in on a champion like AJ when she least expected it to happen. Probably AJ will have a face turn in months to come, and that will open up the door for Summer Rae to premiere on Raw and SmackDown as a consistent wrestler and challenge AJ for the Divas Championship. As much as I'm enjoying AJ's inaugural reign as Divas Champion, there is room for improvement for it, and there is also room for improvement for other feuds for AJ to have. For the last couple of months, all AJ's pretty much done is be the Raw General Manager, feud with people like CM Punk, John Cena, and Daniel Bryan, and even Kane. It's time for AJ to start being concerned more with herself and being the Divas Champion, because she's a far more impressive Divas Champion than Kelly ever was, and I will go on record for saying that that's why she needs better, consistent competition than what she's been receiving. There is a lot you can do with AJ's character, and people like Summer Rae, Sasha Banks, Aja Marie, and Paige are going to be bringing the best out of AJ in the months to come, and that's why I think Summer Rae versus AJ for the Divas Championship. But let's say AJ is your fan favorite, Summer Rae is your heel, which is the best way to be distributing Summer Rae right now as a heel, because she's doing so great as a heel character, far better of a heel than anything the other divas have done over the years, a far better heel than Eve or Kelly ever was in the first few years of their career, and I'm really enjoying what WWE are doing with her character. I don't really approve with what they're doing with her character 150%, because seeing her as a valet is really holding her back. It's benefiting Fandango, but it's not really benefiting her. I'd much rather be seeing her wrestle on Raw and SmackDown, even if she were losing, because it would be a bit of a reprieve from all the roles we have seen her character in at least over the last 4 to 5 months. It's time to do something more profitable with Summer Rae's character, and that's why I'm offering up a follow-up to my initial video blog release on the success of Summer Rae and my original write-up for In This Corner with Jonathan Clarke, where I talked about the best years of Summer Rae's character yet to be witnessed by both herself and her fan wagon, which is seeming to be pretty consistent over the past couple of months. I will admit to you that I am a fan of Summer Rae, and I'll remain that way until Summer Rae becomes the Divas Champion, and even throughout her reign as Divas Champion, no matter how long it lasts, I'll still be supporting Summer Rae as a fan favorite or a heel. I really don't care at this point what they do with her character, as long as she starts wrestling, even if they totally repackage Summer Rae with new ring attire, new entrance music, a whole new gimmick. As long as she's wrestling, I will approve of what she's doing. As long as she's continuing to be a valet or being a ring announcer, I will not approve of it. I've enjoyed seeing her wrestle on NXT, and she should still be wrestling more than what she is. A scattered match once in a while is not really cutting it from me, because I'm a huge fan of Summer Rae, and I think she deserves better than what she's getting, and I think she deserves better reviews by radio shows and columnists, and that also has a lot to do with how Summer Rae's being treated, no matter if you agree with it or disagree with this fact. The fact that she's receiving a lot of criticism is the result of all these things that's going on with her character, always being repackaged, from a ring announcer to a wrestler to a valet. If we were giving her a better review as wrestling fans, I think what would happen for Summer Rae is that Summer Rae would be having something more consistent to do in the WWE, and probably be wrestling more on editions of NXT, Raw, and SmackDown, which is something I'm hoping for Summer Rae in the coming months, because if we don't see Summer Rae wrestling more, then she's going to head down a very uncertain road. Big fan of Summer Rae, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, and I speak for all wrestling fans when I say that Summer Rae needs to be wrestling more and get a call up to Raw and SmackDown to be wrestling permanently in the Divas division, especially with limited competition for AJ right now. I mean, Summer Rae wrestling all the time in the Divas division would do the Divas division an incredible amount of justice. But what do you think if Summer Rae started wrestling more? What do you think if Summer Rae were the number one contender for AJ's Divas Championship? You can let me know on Facebook by getting in on the conversation, facebook.com/HW Entertainment, on Twitter at Jonathan Clarke 1, and on YouTube at youtube.com/Jonathan Clarke 22. Check out our new Facebook audio player featuring up to 5 featured audio commentaries in the extended info section of our Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter for over 13,000 tweets, including tweets pertaining to the career and the success of Summer Rae at Jonathan Clarke 1, and watch us on YouTube for past video archives, including featured and popular videos, as well as links to all of our social media accounts and websites.